Yo, my name is MartydudeVR, and today we're talking about Operation Serpens for the PSVR2. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is one of the hardest reviews I've had to do for a PSVR2 game. This game left me with a bunch of mixed feelings, and we'll get into that later. First, let's talk about what Operation Serpens is actually about. In this game, you're doing a unit of elite soldiers and choose your preferred weapon or weapons to take down the ranks of the evil Snakes organization until you reach the top. The game is very 80s action movie-like with a ton of arcade elements. It really reminds me of Time Crisis, not gonna lie. Even though I had a review earlier this month saying something about Time Crisis, this one really reminds me of Time Crisis. The main gameplay loop of Operation Serpens is actually really simple. You pick an assassination target, and then you choose a gun or guns to mow down all the enemies until you get to your target. The level design in this game is really fun and unique in terms of differentiating levels. No two levels in this game feel the same, and that's really great. The guns also range from pistols to assault rifles to even a riot shield to a damn drone you can control. I honestly really love most of the weapons in this game. The pistols gave me an issue at first because they definitely felt like they were set at a weird angle, but I ended up emailing the developer and they told me you can change the offset in the menu, which I definitely missed. Another pet peeve was the assault rifle. This is honestly one of my biggest pet peeves of this game. The gun itself is fine, don't get me wrong, but the recoil is actually atrocious. It might be like the worst recoil I've ever used on any type of assault rifle or pistol or anything in a game, not gonna lie. Instead of doing the, the regular recoil that an assault rifle does, it does this weird thing where it tries to act like an arcade game, but it comes off really bad in terms of actual execution in the game. It sprays up and down and makes shooting at enemies with it so annoying. I mean, I'm talking about it's very frustrating to shoot that gun. It really hurts you at hard difficulties because there's like 20 enemies shooting at you and you need precision at that point, especially at the hard difficulties. I'm talking about there's so many bullets. You're like, man, how? Especially with a gun that inaccurate, it's like the game is punishing you for trying to be accurate. Even though you can't hold the gun to steady it, it does a little bit, but not enough to warrant using it. Since that was the case with the AR, I ended up throwing it away and just using a pistol like the world-class marksman that I am, because it was a lot more precise and precision is key in these type of games. The drone you control later in the game is also the most awkward drone experience I've ever had with a actual VR game, I'm not gonna lie. It was so awkward to maneuver and actually hold it in your hand in VR, and it just was not a good experience. It made the mission way more difficult than it really had to be. Other than those pet peeves, I generally enjoyed the other guns in the game. The gunplay was actually pretty fun at certain points. Outside of gunplay, there's also bullet time that happens at certain intervals, and it makes for some really neat shoot as many enemies as you can within this time limit sections in this game. Moving on to the enemies are actually varied and really fun to shoot at, and depending on the level, the enemies actually change a little bit. My only issue with them are that there are no indicators to know if an enemy is shooting at you from behind you. So in certain missions where you're surrounded by enemies, you don't know when the enemy spawns behind you because there's no actual indicator that an enemy is there. This on hard difficulties was hell, I'm not gonna lie. This game is really hard to play on hard difficulties just because of the game design, not the actual skill level of the player. I did email the developer about this and they said they would explore changing it in future, updates and look into it. So shout out to them for that, for responding. Something that I haven't really mentioned that is really great about Operation Serpens is the humor in the game. It's such a goofy 80s military arcade experience. I love it for that. I do feel like some games take themselves a little bit too seriously, but this game does not do that at all. And it actually embraces it. I mean, you can literally blow your fingers off while holding a grenade. Literally never seen that in any other VR game. That's attention to detail that I really appreciate from the developer. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this game is funny as hell, man. There's a lot of goofy moments and I just really appreciate that. There's also co-op maps where you can play with your friends with a max being 4 players. I didn't get to try it out because I played it before release and obviously there was nobody online. But I did end up playing a zombie survival mode, which was terrifying in a goofy way. Some of the zombies will walk up on you and jump scare the shit out of you just by being too close. There's also a contest mode where you can test your might by shooting dolls with accuracy. It really reminds me of FNAF for some reason, but I think that's just a PTSD from that series reactivating in my brain. So yeah, the side modes are really enjoyable, and I see those adding a lot of replayability to a pretty short game. Now that I've explained the whole game to you, let's talk about why this game was really hard for me to review. The thing about Operation Serpens isn't the fact that it's not fun or anything, it just feels very unfinished. I think that's the best way to describe this game. The weird recoil and just some of the general jank that I encountered during my just general play session. Some of the mechanics of this game just feel really unfinished and just not fully realized. Now, this game is $20, but honestly, I don't know if I would even buy this game compared to other PSVR2 games around that same price. I honestly think this one needs a little bit more time. Some people will enjoy this, I will not lie. Some people will enjoy this game for what it is, but if you're expecting a crazy experience, it's not here. I think it would be cool to play with some friends. It's for a little fun here and there, but honestly, for $20, I feel like you could just put that towards another multiplayer game on a PSVR 2. The developers definitely have a great idea here, but I think it just needs a little bit more tuning and a few more updates. I definitely want to keep track of this one to see how it progresses in the future, because I really do like the idea and just what they have in the game so far. But honestly, it needs a little bit more. Again, shout out to the developer for sending me a key. I really appreciate it, because I really do like what you have here. If you guys end up getting this game, I definitely want to know what you guys think about it. Come back here to the comments or join Discord. Let me know what you think about Operation Serpens, because I'm really curious to see how some of you guys take this game. I really am. But that is it for the review, my friends. Let me know what you think about the game if you get it. Let me know what you think about the content I posted this week. How do you feel about the PSVR going to PC? There's a lot of things going on this week. Make sure you go to VRWatch.com, get your prescription lenses for your VR headset, man. Don't play your game blind. Use code MartydudeVR to get 10% off. All right, guys, I'm out. Remember, I'm just a dude with a VR headset. Peace.